Hello, and welcome to our channel, a nexus for the inquisitive and perpetually curious. Here, you'll uncover a universe of knowledge that spans everyday life and beyond.
This episode is brought to you by the Perpetually Curious, a platform for the inquisitive and ever-curious. Today we're taking a truly fascinating deep dive into, well, the art and science of bonsai. For many of us, I think, when we hear bonsai, we probably picture a tiny, perfectly sculpted tree. You know, in a shallow pot. It looks beautiful almost too perfect to be real, right? But this deep dive is going to shift that perception, I think, entirely. We're going to explore how cultivating these miniature trees is, well, it's so much more than just a horticultural hobby. It really is an entire experience. A captivating blend of meticulous precision, scientific understanding, and even profound philosophical insights. You'll uncover surprising facts, I hope, and unique perspectives on how this ancient art connects us to nature, to patience, and maybe even to a deeper sense of purpose.
That's an excellent way to frame it, yeah. We're setting the stage for an exploration that really does go beyond just the superficial beauty of a bonsai tree. Our source material, the art and science of bonsai, cultivating harmony and creativity in miniature trees, it lays out this intricate world perfectly. It reveals how bonsai, from its ancient roots right up to its modern, accessible forms, really represents a compelling blend of artistic expression and scientific understanding. It's definitely a journey that promises to unpack the fundamental elements, things that contribute to its elegance, its discipline, and yes, indeed, its profound meaning.
Okay, so let's unpack this right from the start then. What is the core essence of bonsai? Because it's described as this remarkable blend, like you said, artistic expression and scientific understanding. It's not simply about shaping a tree. It's shaping living art in a very intentional way. The very name gives us a bit of a clue, doesn't it? Bon, meaning a tray or shallow container.
Right.
And sai, meaning planting or cultivation.
Yeah.
So quite literally, it's tree in a tray. But wow, that simple translation hides so much complexity.
It absolutely does, yeah. While the concept of miniature landscapes, it originated in ancient China, it was really in Japan that the practice found its meticulous refinement. It transformed into the poetic art form we so widely recognize today. And what's truly fascinating is how this practice, which was once considered, almost a secret art form passed down through generations of specialists or master gardeners, how it's evolved. Today, thanks to readily available beginner kits, local workshops, and actually incredibly supportive communities, both online and in person, bonsai has become wonderfully accessible. It's no longer just for the elite, so to speak. It's for anyone with a genuine desire to grow, to learn, and to connect with nature on a really deeply intimate level.
I find that accessibility point really critical, especially for you listening. It connects directly to your own journey of discovery, allowing you to engage with the living world in a more hands-on way. Fostering a relationship with a tree over years, maybe even decades, it's not quick gratification, is it? It's a slow, rewarding process. And if you enjoy thoughtful explorations like this one, you can find more on the Perpetually Curious. We're available on Facebook and YouTube. So, moving beyond that initial concept, the bonsai journey truly begins with careful, considered selection. You can't just pick any old tree, can you? Our sources really emphasize the need for a species that is inherently well-suited for shaping and, crucially, for long-term care in a confined space. What are some of those common choices that listeners might recognize, and why are they particularly good for bonsai?
You're absolutely right. Selection is paramount. Common choices often include things like junipers, pines, maples, and ficus. Each has unique characteristics that make them pretty ideal. Junipers and pines, for instance, they're evergreen, they're hardy, and their needles can be subtly manipulated for density. Maples, on the other hand, they offer those stunning seasonal changes with their vibrant autumn leaves, just beautiful. And ficus, being tropical, they tend to be a bit more forgiving for indoor cultivation. They tolerate lower light and humidity better than, say, many temperate species. So each of these brings its own unique traits to the table, whether it's their specific growth patterns, their leaf or needle shape, or just their overall resilience. And as you mentioned, these trees are always planted in shallow containers. These aren't just for looks. They are absolutely essential for limiting the root spread and helping to define that miniature scale of the tree.
Okay, so if the container limits the root spread, what other elements are critical in keeping the tree miniature? And how does the soil play into that? I imagine it's not just any old potting mix you grab from the garden center.
That's a crucial distinction, yeah. It's not just the container dictating the scale. The soil itself plays an incredibly critical role. Bonsai soil isn't just dirt, it's more like a meticulously engineered mix. It's designed to balance three key things: superior drainage, optimal aeration, and just the right amount of water retention. Think of specialized components like akadama clay. That's a granular, hard-baked clay. It holds water and nutrients but allows excellent drainage. Or things like pumice and lava rock, which provide aeration and structure. This precise, often inorganic blend allows water to flow freely, preventing the dreaded root rot.
Right, root rot. Heard about that.
Exactly, but it still retains just enough moisture for the roots to thrive. It also provides the ideal environment for those intricate processes of pruning and root development over time, which are essential for keeping the tree healthy and small. Ultimately, this meticulous setup, it creates a kind of self-contained ecosystem that demands both unwavering care and keen attention. But it rewards you, with the gradual, beautiful growth and refined form of your tree.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. The science behind the shaping. This goes way beyond just aesthetics or, trimming a few branches here and there. Bonsai cultivation is deeply connected to plant physiology, meaning you're working directly with the plant's natural biological systems to guide its growth in a meaningful, intentional way. It's not just about cutting. It's about understanding how the tree actually functions at a cellular level, right? What exactly is happening inside the tree that allows us to shape it like this?
That's precisely where the real artistry meets the science.
Yeah.
Inside every tree, there are hormones, specifically auxins and cytokinins, that play central roles in directing how and where it grows. Auxins are primarily produced in the growing tips of the shoots. Think of it like a tiny internal stretch signal, encouraging upward growth and what's called apical dominance, meaning the central stem grows strongest. Cytokinins, on the other hand, are largely produced down in the roots, and they promote lateral growth and branching, essentially telling the tree to bush out.
Yeah.
So by strategically trimming the tips of growing shoots, a technique sometimes called debudding or pinching, a bonsai artist can reduce those auxin levels. This reduction signals the tree to shift its energy laterally, encouraging the growth of new branches further down the stem. Similarly, root pruning, which is done during repotting, helps to balance these cytokinin levels. This, in turn, supports a fuller, more balanced canopy above ground. It also prevents the tree from becoming root-bound, where the roots grow so densely they can't effectively absorb water and nutrients anymore.
Wow, so it's a sophisticated dance with the tree's own chemistry. That's fascinating. And beyond pruning, I know wiring is a critical technique. How does that fit into this sort of scientific guidance?
Wiring is another key technique, yes. It's a gentle persuasion, maybe you could call it that. Fine copper or aluminum wire is carefully wrapped around branches and sometimes the trunk. This allows the artist to gently bend and reshape them over time. The wire holds the branch in its new position until the wood hardens and sets that shape. That usually takes a few months, maybe up to a year, depending on the species and how fast it grows. This allows for the creation of various iconic styles. You have the formal upright, with its strong, straight fork, the slanting style, leaning gracefully, maybe like it's in a strong wind, or those dramatic cascading designs where branches flow downward, mimicking a tree growing over a cliff edge. But the crucial point always is that a bonsai is never forced into shape. It is gently guided with immense patience and care toward a form that honors both its inherent spirit and its natural structure, always ensuring its health and vitality throughout the process. It really is a conversation with nature, not a command.
And once shaped, that consistency of care. It isn't just a routine, is it? You called it a relationship, a quiet, ongoing dialogue between the tree and its caretaker. So what are the essential elements of this daily, weekly, or maybe seasonal dialogue?
It truly is a silent conversation you learn to understand over time. Light, for example, is incredibly vital, especially for trees grown indoors. Most bonsai need several hours of direct sunlight daily. For indoor species, supplemental lighting can be crucial, and they often benefit from added humidity, which you can provide through misting or humidity trays or maybe small humidifiers, especially in dry indoor environments. Watering, that needs particularly close attention. This is where most beginners tend to struggle.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Too much water can lead to root rot, that common pitfall we mentioned, while too little can cause dehydration and stress. So the best approach is just to consistently check the soil. Feel its moisture level with your finger. You only water when it begins to feel slightly dry to the touch, and then you water thoroughly until it drains right out from the bottom.
And what about nourishment? I mean, they're not growing in typical rich garden soil, like you said.
Precisely. Bonsai also require nutrients. So a balanced, usually diluted fertilizer applied according to the tree's seasonal growth cycles helps ensure its ongoing vitality. But this isn't a more is better situation. Over-fertilizing can actually harm the tree. Additionally, most bonsai trees need to be repotted, maybe every 1 to 3 years, typically. This crucial step helps refresh the soil, manage that root growth, and prevents the tree from becoming root-bound in its shallow container. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the needs of a bonsai are profoundly shaped by its environment. For outdoor trees, protection from frost during cold seasons is essential, especially for species not native to cold climates. Tropical species, conversely, they tend to thrive indoors, provided they receive sufficient warmth, humidity, and sunlight. Understanding your tree's native environment is really one of the most important parts of successful cultivation. Whether it's placed outdoors on a shaded patio or indoors near a bright window, your tree relies on you to help it adjust and flourish. To explore more episodes and topics like this, follow the Perpetually Curious on Facebook. Beyond the sort of scientific and technical aspects, tending to a bonsai is, well, it's a deeply human and meditative act. It encourages patience, mindfulness, and a profound appreciation for subtle changes over time. A bonsai teaches in silence. It really does. It reveals the strength of stillness and the beauty of time itself.
It's pretty remarkable how much diversity there is within bonsai itself, too. I mean, you mentioned some are as small as 6 inches, known as miniature Maine trees, fitting right in the palm of your hand. While others, like the large Amano bonsai, can stand over 3 feet tall. They must require significant space and, frankly, strength to move. Each size and style, of course, has its own unique charm and care requirements. But it raises a practical question. Can these trees live indoors permanently, or are they mostly outdoor plants? And speaking of the broader picture, what are the considerations around sustainability when we engage with this art form? That seems important.
That's a great point about diversity and practicality.
Yeah.
While most bonsai truly thrive outdoors, where they get optimal light and air circulation, some tropical species, like certain varieties of ficus or perhaps jade, can indeed adapt to indoor environments if they receive enough light and humidity. However, displaying temperate outdoor species indoors is often best limited to just short periods, maybe for enjoyment during a special occasion, unless the indoor space is meticulously maintained for their specific needs, which honestly can be quite challenging. So for many people, it's about rotating them in and out. And your question on sustainability is absolutely crucial in today's world. Yes, this means prioritizing ethical sourcing, choosing native species whenever possible, and actively avoiding overcollection from wild environments. That's key to preserving biodiversity and reducing strain on local ecosystems. It's another way this art form encourages a deep respect for nature, not just, mastery over it.
That's a vital connection to make. Absolutely. But for someone just starting out, or even an experienced enthusiast, challenges are, well, they're inevitable, aren't they?
Yeah.
What are some of the most common pitfalls new bonsai practitioners might encounter? And what's the key to navigating them?
Well, this raises an important question. What about those challenges? And yes, new bonsai practitioners often encounter common pitfalls. Overwatering is probably the most frequent mistake. There's a natural assumption, I think, that these small trees need constant moisture, when in fact you should water based on observation, based on how the soil actually feels. A tree sitting in constantly soggy soil will quickly develop root rot. Improper pruning can also lead to long-term issues. Understanding basic techniques, knowing where to cut for new growth or how to encourage ramification, that dense branching before making major cuts is invaluable.
Right. Learn before you leap.
Exactly. Lack of adequate light is another significant factor, especially for indoor trees where placement is critical. A dim corner just won't suffice for most species. Pests like aphids or spider mites, they might occasionally appear, so routine monitoring of leaves and stems is absolutely essential. And finally, seasonal shifts matter immensely. Adjusting your care routine to match the seasons, whether it's reducing water during winter dormancy or protecting against intense summer heat, that can make a huge difference in your tree's overall health. The key, really, as you navigate these challenges, is just to remain observant, consistent, and always open to learning. And honestly, one of the best ways to grow in your bonsai journey is to connect with others. Local bonsai clubs, exhibitions, online groups, workshops, they offer invaluable guidance, support, and inspiration. It truly becomes a shared appreciation for balance, intention, and the quiet beauty of these living forms.
It truly hammers home that creating a bonsai is such a long-term endeavor. We're talking years, right? Years to develop just a basic structure and often decades to truly refine a mature tree. It's definitely not something you can rush.
And that timeline isn't something to resist, it's something to embrace. Imagine a tree you've been cultivating for, say, 15 years. You make a single cut today, and you won't see the full effect, perhaps, for another 5 years.
Wow.
That's not just patience. It's a profound trust in a process far grander than immediate gratification. It forces you to slow down, to truly be present in the moment, and to appreciate the almost imperceptible changes that accumulate into something magnificent over time. Bonsai teaches us that meaningful growth is not rushed. It happens slowly, in quiet moments of care and trust. Patience is not just a tool in bonsai. It really is the essence of the practice.
What a journey we've taken through the art and science of bonsai. It really is a profound reminder, isn't it, of the quiet beauty and the deep, often unexpected lessons that can be found in the most meticulous of endeavors. It shows us that true mastery isn't really about control, but about sensitive guidance and profound respect for life.
And this journey doesn't have to end here. If you've ever worked with bonsai, or maybe just been moved by its quiet artistry, we invite you to share your thoughts and experiences with us. Reflect on the meaning of patience and observation in your own life. Where do you find moments that ask you to slow down, to trust the process? Maybe drawing inspiration from the slow, deliberate growth of a bonsai. Have thoughts or stories to share? We'd love to hear from you. You can join the conversation on the Perpetually Curious Facebook page.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious. And remember, you can visit the Perpetually Curious Facebook page or YouTube channel for more related content and insights.
Thank you for watching. We invite you to explore our channel, where you will find captivating content across a wide range of topics, from everyday wonders to engaging subjects like science, arts, nature, history, technology, and more. If you enjoyed this episode, we would sincerely appreciate your support. Please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, and turning on the bell for notifications. For those wishing to support us further, you may consider one of the following options. By tapping the Super Thanks button on YouTube, or through Buy Me a Coffee using the link in the description, or by scanning the QR code shown on screen. Your support is truly appreciated. Thank you. Before you go, take a moment to explore the related content here. You might just find your next favorite video. Thank you for watching.